Okay, this is going to be a quick video on finding and examining files. Okay, so we're going to be using the Linux command line as we have been. Open a terminal. I'm in my home directory, so I'm going to change directories with the cd command to my desktop. Type ls. You see we've got our two folders in here. Alright, so let's create the going to create a little file here. Apples is the contents of it, and the name of the file is fruits.txt. So there, we used the echo command and redirected the output. And let's add some items to this. So echo bananas, and we use double greater than symbol fruits. So that added a line to it. Bananas. Oranges. Okay, so I have this file here, fruits.txt. It's on my desktop. Okay, if I want to examine the entire contents of this file, I can use the cat command. Alright, let's go ahead and add some more items to this file. Let's see. Honeydew. Cantaloupe. What else? Okay, so we've got 15 items in this list now. So if I want to look at the items in this list, cat command, fruits.txt. Okay. Now this list could have hundreds of items in it. So if I want to look at the first 10 items in it, I use the head command. I want to look at the head portion of this file. Okay, so head fruits, and this gives me the first 10 items. Okay, if I want to change that number, I use the -n command. Give me the first 5 items of the list. So head space -n is the option, and then the next argument is the value of that option. Okay, so -n space 5 and then the file. So we have, this is the first 5 items. All right, so let's look at the man page on the head command. All right, name head, output the first part of files. Head, any options, and then the file name. Okay, so in, print the first number of lines. Okay, so here, oops, the -n space number is the same as -- lines equals number. Okay, so if I say head and I want the number of lines to be 3 and fruits, I can use a different option, lines equals 3 fruits. These two commands are the same. In is just a shortcut. If you can't remember the option, then use -- lines equals 3. Okay, so this is common in lots of Linux commands where they have multiple different ways of doing the same thing. Okay, these are 2 separate arguments, and here this is 1 argument. Okay, but the program is aware of both of these. This is an option, and this is a command line option. They're just different styles of options. Alright, so we can also use the tail command to see what's at the bottom of the list. So there's our berries, right? And then we can run the man command on tail, and we see that there is also a dash dash lines option. Okay, so I can say that gives me the same output, right? Okay, so you can kind of navigate files like this, and you can pipe output to other commands. Okay, so let's say I'm looking for the not the first 5 items of the list, but the second 5 items of the list. Okay, so let's look at the first 10 items of the list. Dash n 10 fruits. Okay, so I want to print out to the terminal screen not these first 5 items. I want to print out the last 5, these. Okay, so I took the head of my file and took the first 10 lines of that. Now I can combine this command with tail. I can pipe this output of this command. This is the last command I typed. I can use the pipe character and pipe that to the tail command. So now this, whatever this first command outputs, is now the input to the tail command. So I can say tail dash 5, and this is going to show me the bottom 5 items from whatever was listed in this first command. And see, it showed the tail. This was the input to the tail command, and it gave us the last 5 items. Right? So you can combine commands like this. You can pipe the output. This is the pipe character, the pipe operator. It pipes the standard output of some command. So this could be any command, and it pipes it as the input to another command. Let's try another one. All right, I'm in desktop. Let's change directories to my home directory. All right, see, I'm in home. Type ls-al. This is a big long list of stuff. I can say ls-al and pipe that output to the tail command. -n5, and this will give me the last 5 items of the ls output. Okay, so all I'm doing is whatever this command is, what would normally print out to the terminal, instead is the input to this other command. Right? That's what the pipe operator does, and you can join lots of different commands like this. All right, so that's head and tail. Another good command to use the pipe operator with is grep. Okay. Okay, so what grep does is it prints lines matching a specific pattern. Okay, so if I have ls-al, and that's too much stuff for me to look at, but I know the files that I want to look at have a capital D in them, I can say ls-al, pipe that output to grep, and grep will only print out the lines that match this pattern. So it'll only print out the lines that have a D in them. Okay, and then it highlights my pattern too. So that's desktop, documents, downloads, Dropbox, PDF. Okay. So over here, this was part of the output as well, right? So it found a D in the date, which is fine. So let's see if we can do, if we log into the CS server, CS 151.0.0. Okay, so this is like one of your student accounts. ls, this is my home directory, ls-al, and I see all the hidden files. If I go up one level, I'm in /u1/class, and again, this is on the CS server. I'm no longer on my local machine. So if I type ls-al, I can see all of the CS accounts. All right. Now there's different courses being taught over the summer. There's a 100 level, there's 151, there's a 256, 299, and 617. All right. So if I want to look at just the output for 151, I can type ls-al, which prints the whole list, pipe that to grep, and say I want to look for CS 151. And these are just the CS 151, right? So it filters output. So a lot of times you might have gigantic files. I mean, they could be millions of lines long even, right? And this command will help you filter things out. Okay, so I exited. Now we're back at my desktop locally. ls-al, ls. Let's change directory to the desktop. ls. There we go. There's our fruits file. So let's use grep with fruits. So I want to look to see what kind of berries I have on my list. So if I cat the file fruits, that's the whole list. But I might have hundreds of items in this list. So I want to look for items that have berry in them. Right? So I use the grep command, and the pattern is BERR. Now the reason it's not berry is because it could be plural, right? And as we see over here, it is plural, right? So we have to match this pattern. And we've got raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. All right, let's find all of the items that have an A in them. A lot of them. Apples, bananas, oranges, grapes. Okay, what about an E? Also a lot. Any I's? Yep. O. U. Just a few. Okay, so grep allows you to filter out a particular set of output. So whatever would go to the standard output of the terminal, if you use the pipe command, whatever was the output of that command is now going to be the input of the following command. Okay, so the input to grep is going to be the list, the entire contents of the file fruits.txt. Okay, so I can also search, say I'm looking at my list, and I knew the last item I was on was, let's just look at the whole list. Let's say the last item I was on was mangoes, right? And I need to know what's next on my list. Okay, so I can pass that to grep, and I'm searching for mangoes. Now this by itself doesn't really do anything, it just prints out mangoes. But I can add options. I want to see 3 lines after mangoes. So this shows me mangoes, and then dash capital A for after. I want an additional 3 lines from this file. So that gives me the next 3 items on my list after mangoes. Okay, I can also do before, so that's a dash B. So these are the 3 items before mangoes, and you can do both. I can do dash after 4 and before 3. And some systems, my particular system, will highlight the actual search value, and then you see there's 3 lines before and 4 after. Okay, so this grep command can be very handy when especially when you have large amounts of data and you're searching for something. Okay, so let's look at how to find files or folders. Okay, so I say I have fruits.txt, and I'm going to hide it away somewhere. Say I have a very large directory structure. I'm going to say make dir stuff, and then make dir stuff and things. Okay, so I've created a directory structure here. Stuff is the root folder. There's a folder called things inside of that. Inside of that there's a folder called other. Inside of stuff we have doodads, and inside of stuff we have foo. Inside of that we have bar. Okay. Now to look at this directory structure a little bit easier way to visualize it, you can use the tree command. And I want to look at the tree of this stuff folder. And this shows me everything that's inside of this directory. Stuff is the larger, it's the parent folder of everything. Then it has 3 children, doodads, foo, and things. Foo has 1 child, bar, and things has other. Alright, so I am going to put our fruits file somewhere in here, and it doesn't matter where. We're just trying to practice finding files. Okay, so let's do the tree command again. Now we see inside of bar, we see we do have this file. All right. Now let's delete the one from the desktop. Now let's say some time goes by and I don't remember where I put this file. And I'm in my home directory and I need to figure out where I put this file and I can't find it anywhere. But I know the name of it was fruits.txt. Well, I can use the find command. I want to find something that's in this directory, so /, or if I know it's on the desktop directory, I can say it's on the desktop. And I want to search by the name of the file, and the name of the file is fruits.txt. And there it shows me it's this directory, so it's my home directory because that's where I am. Then go into desktop, stuff, foo, bar, and then fruits.txt. So that's where it's located. Now what if you don't know the whole name? Okay, you can use glob pattern. Let's say you knew fruits were in the label, but you didn't know the extension, and you didn't know if it was plural or not. So this glob, this asterisk, means any number of characters beforehand is fine. The name just has to have fruit in it. All right, and then any number of characters afterwards. Alright, so it found that. To demonstrate that better, let's copy this fruits file and name it a few different things, okay? So we'll change directories to desktop. So we see stuff. I want to change directory into stuff/foo/bar. There's fruits.txt. So let's copy this file to something that also has fruit in the name. We'll call it myfruit.txt. Now there's no S. Okay, we've got 2 files now. Cat fruits, cat myfruit. Oops. Alright, so let's copy this somewhere else. Let's copy myfruit to go up to the parent, and we're going to go up to that parent. So the first time we go up to the parent, we're going to be in foo. The next time we go to the parent, we're going to be in stuff. All right, and then we're going to put it in other, and we're going to call this one fruit2.lst. Oh, is other not in stuff? Oh, no, others and things. So we need to go /things/other fruit lst. Alright, so that succeeded. So it succeeds. If it succeeds, it doesn't show you anything. If it doesn't succeed, it sends you an error message. So it's very common when you use the Linux terminal to not see any output. That means the program, the command succeeded. Alright, so let's try the tree command again. First, let's navigate to our home directory. Then we'll do cd to desktop, and we'll use the tree command and look at what's inside this stuff folder. So now we have stuff, doodads, foo, bar, and we see there's 2 files in here. Okay, and then in things and other we have fruit2.lst. So now again, pretend some time goes by and we don't know. We know we had some important files. There's several fruit files, and I need to put them all together, but I don't know where they all are. Okay, so they might have different fruits in them. Who knows? I'm keeping track of fruits for some reason. I'm on some sort of fruit diet. So we need to find them. So I can say find. What directory do I want to search in? I'm going to search in my current directory, which happens to be desktop, and I want to search for items by name. Now find is kind of a funny one. Normally if you have a long option name, it's 2 hyphens, but find only, you only use 1 there. Alright, so the name I want to search for is any number of characters. It just needs to have fruit in the name and any number of characters afterwards. Okay, so it finds all of them. So this is the path to fruits.txt, myfruit.txt, and then fruit2.list. Now if I change this to fruits, notice the one that had or the ones that don't have an S will disappear. Okay, so this is the only one that has an S. So you have to be careful about how you name these patterns or how you use these patterns. Okay, I can also do any number of characters and then .txt. So these are all the text files in here, right? There's home directory again. Alright, so we'll CD back to the desktop, tree, stuff. Right, and we created this file structure, and we can find things that way. Alright, so that's finding by name. It's find. Where would you like to look? I want to look in this directory, and I want to search by name, so hyphen name, and then I can search for anything that starts with it starts with fruit, and it can have anything else. Okay, so that's fruits and fruit2. My fruit doesn't work because I didn't put a star in front of it. Okay, the star means any number of characters can appear beforehand. If there is no star, then no characters can appear beforehand. Right, so that's the find command, and that's finding by name. Now sometimes you might want to find a file based on what's inside of it. Okay, so you might have made a program and you remembered, like you named a function a certain name, or you had a variable in there called something. In this case we're searching a list, and I know how to list, and it has mangoes in it somewhere. Alright, so this is where we use grep, and then use these options, IRL. So to help you remember that can be Indie Racing League, or it can be in real life. But these are 3 options. We can look at what those mean in a second. But if I want to find a certain text, mangoes, and where do I want to search at the end? Alright. So it's going to search all these files. I've got to search in too many files. Let's say we're going to search the stuff directory. There we go. It was searching my junk folder and my dev folder, and searching too many things. That's why it's taking too long. Okay. So when a command is taking too long, you hit Control-C to quit. It stops the command from running. Okay. When I hit Control-C, just like in Nano, it's got that little caret and then the C. I hit Control-C, and the command failed. That's fine. I just wanted to go back to my command prompt. Right. So to search for files based on what's inside of the file, not the file name, but what's inside, use grep. Grep IRL, in real life. Alright, mangoes, and then, so this is what you're searching for, and then where do you want to look? I want to look in stuff. And sure enough, there it is. So we can look at the manual pages for grep and see what these options do. Okay, so I means ignore case. So let's try it let's say we're searching for mangoes, capital letters. It still works because of the I command, or the I option. If we remove the I option, no results, because none of those files have mangoes in capital letters. Okay, so that's what the I is. It stands for ignore case. That's common in a lot of different commands. But to be sure, you always need to check the man page. So let's look at the grep command and see what else. We have the R option. Let's see where that is. Pass it. There we go, recursive. Read all the files under each directory recursively, following symbolic links only if they are on the command line. Alright, so basically that means look in a directory, and if there's any directories inside of that directory, look in those as well. And if there's any inside of those, look in those. So it always looks all the way down to the bottom of the directory structure. That's what the R means. It stands for recursive. It's a very common term that's going to come up in computer science a lot. Okay, so that's the R. If we got rid of the R, it doesn't like it, because normally grep takes a file name instead of a directory. Right? So we're going to recursively look in the directory stuff. Alright, and then the L command. So we pull up the manual pages again. And sometimes the manual pages are kind of hard to read, so I'm just using my arrow keys to scroll up and down. Instead, I can man grep, and I can just output this to a file, and I can call this grep.man. And then I can open the file in a text editor, and then I can scroll and paste and do all sorts of stuff. So you see how long this manual page is on grep? It's a very, 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 very big file or program, and it's used all the time. Okay, it's used for filtering things. But since I have it in my text editor, I can search. Most text editors have some way to search. It's Control F usually, and you see this little search dialog popped up. Almost every text editor has one, and usually it's Control F, but some of them are a little bit different, so depending on which one you're using, you're going to have to look that up. But I want to look for the -L command, and it says there's one of 20. And here's dash capital L and dash lowercase l. So files with matches. So that's what this means. We're going to suppress normal output, instead print the name of the file. So previously we used grep, and it would output the specific line in the file. Okay. Instead, we want it to output the name of the file that contains this thing. Okay. So -L tells us to output the name of the file instead of the line in the file that thing exists in. Okay, so that's IRL. So grep IRL, what am I searching for, and where do I want to start searching? Okay, so with those commands, you can very easily find files. That's going to happen. You're going to get confused sometimes when you're creating these directory structures, and you'll accidentally copy something where you didn't mean to, and you're like, where did it go? Sometimes you need to search for it, and sometimes you need to search by name, and sometimes you need to search by the content. All right, so that's the two main ways of searching for files. So with all of these commands, you should be able to find these files pretty easily and examine the contents. Right? So that's enough for this video.